Hi, my name is Amanda Escamilla, and today we're going to be making nopales. Otherwise, they're known as cactus. But in South Texas and other parts of the Southwest, cactus are really popular, and we prepare them in a dish called what we call nopales. Cactus is something that comes, as I said, it's grown in different parts of Southwest and different parts of Mexico, and has been a native food to those areas for many and many of years. And what we have done is we've picked some cactus from my mom's backyard, and basically what happens is these are the new petals of the cactus. When in the spring you get new petals, new growth, and these are nice and tender. They have the consistency of a green bean, sort of a tangy, lemony taste to it, and a little bit like okra as well. Here we have some cactus that's already been diced and stripped, if you will. They've been cleaned already. These are petals that have been cleaned, but before that, they had these little thorns. And as I said, my mom picked them in her backyard, and she cleaned some of these for me and cut them up. But I want to show you how it's done. You take the thorn off right at the very tip, and there may be parts of the petal of the cactus that you can take off altogether. It's a lot easier than it sounds, and it's certainly a lot easier than it looks. If you can't find cactus, you could find them in your local supermarkets, and certainly in the Southwest. But if you're not in the Southwest, you can look into your neighborhood stores, and sometimes you can find them in different Latin American markets that might be in your neighborhood. And certainly I would expect that these are seasonal. So in the springtime is usually when you might find them. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some boiling salted water going, and this water is going to be used to cook the raw nopales, and it's going to soften up a little, and at the same time the aromatics that are going to go in the water is also going to help to flavor the nopales. So here we're going to add a little bit of salt to get that going, and just some big chunks of onion is enough, is fine. So I just use regular Spanish onion or Vidalia onions, sweet onions. And then I have a few cloves of garlic as well. And I like to use cilantro just wild the way it is. And, you know, the fun part will be picking it out later. Now we're going to put the lid on. We're going to let it come to a boil, and then we're going to go ahead and put the nopales inside once it's come to a boil. All right, so let's see. It's now come to a boil. The water is boiling perfectly, ready for the nopales to go in. And then we're going to cover it and make sure that it comes to a boil again, lower it, and simmer it for about 20 minutes. So now that the cactus has been drained, has been blanched, drained, and it's ready to be cooked now. So we're going to go ahead and start with a little bit of canola oil, and I would say about a tablespoon or so would be okay. We're going to put the cactus in first, and you'll hear the sizzle. Okay. So it's about, really, you just want to saute it very nicely, nice and gently. At this stage, what I like to do is add salt. So I'm going to add a little salt. Okay. It'll probably saute, I would say maybe about 7 minutes or so. Great, so now that we're sauteing the cactus, it looks like they're getting nice and cooked, very nice and tender at this point. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add the onions. So the onions, these are just diced, very small Spanish onion or Vidalia onion. And I'm going to go ahead and add them in right now. And they're going to let it go for about 5 minutes or so until they're translucent and very soft. All right, terrific. Now that we have the onions in, and they're sauteing very nicely with the cactus, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of garlic in here. It's just a little bit, not too much. You don't want to overpower it, maybe a clove or two, depending on how much you're making. So we'll go ahead and put that in and make sure it's sauteed very nicely. And while that's cooking, one of the last steps is to make sure the tomatoes, it cooks a lot quicker. So I'm going to add that now towards the end. That should be sufficient. It's about a half of a tomato. So while this is cooking, I have some fresh cumin here. I'd say about maybe about a teaspoon or so. Maybe a little extra. Same thing for chili powder. About a teaspoon or so. And again, you want to mix it up very well. So we're going to go ahead and put the black pepper in. All right. Going to mix it up really nicely. And all the flavors are coming together. All right, so now I'm ready for the cilantro, right? I'm going to put some cilantro in here, probably a little handful or so. Mix it in. It's going to give it a really nice aromatic, some really nice bright aromatic flavor to this dish that combines really well with the tangy, lemony flavor of the cactus, with the cumin and the chili powder, and with the onions. So it's going to mix up really nicely. I think we're pretty close to putting our egg in. And in this case, for 2 cups, I'm going to use 3 eggs. And I like to put a little in the middle of the pan. I like to throw my eggs in the middle, and then I scramble them there. Just like that. And then you incorporate the rest. Make sure it's nice, scrambled in well. And this is a great dish for any time during the day. You can have this in the morning, first thing when you wake up on a fresh flour tortilla, or you can have it for dinner or lunch, whatever you want to do. It's a great dish, has a lot of protein in it. Cactus has some really great nutritional value to it. And well, the spices really add a really nice flavor. It's a really nice experience. So you get a fresh flour tortilla, and you simply ladle in some cactus and eggs, and that's it. You're ready to go.